guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Fitzgerald Jeep in Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We have the ultimate Jeep Gladiator. This is a 2020 Gladiator Rubicon. So what that means is that this is gonna be the most off-road capable Gladiator on this whole lot at this dealership, or that Jeep even produces. But let's talk a little bit about Jeep history. Jeep has been that trusty friend of the GIs back in World War II. Obviously, that's been far replaced by the Hummer and other vehicles, but it was that early beginning that really sparked a fascination with Jeep, and then eventually the Jeep brand. For the 2020 model year, Jeep decided to bring back some kind of pickup truck option and have that side by side with the Wrangler. Now with the Jeep Gladiator, especially this Rubicon, it's actually got a longer wheelbase, about 18 inches worth of longer wheelbase than the same Wrangler Rubicon, which the Wrangler is that traditional Jeep. When you think Jeep, you think Wrangler. If you weren't aware of that, that's what you were thinking. But with this Gladiator Rubicon, we're taking it to the next level. Now with this video, what I want to try to have you start thinking is, should you go this route, or should you go maybe a Tacoma TRD Pro, or a Tundra TRD Pro, or a Ram Rebel, or maybe, if you got it at the base price, a Ford Raptor. But let's go ahead and dive into this mid-size truck. Remember, it's a mid-size truck known as the Gladiator Rubicon. Right off the bat, the thing I love about any of these Rubicons and any of the Gladiators is that they look like a Jeep. It's got that wonderful grille setup, the 7 vertical slots. You have full LED lighting, and I really like the way that they kept the round design. That's something that's almost like a brand image of Jeep overall. You could see the flat gray metallic on the inside of the headlight housing. I also think it was very smart to put the extra lighting into the fenders, and that those beautiful fenders flared out, fully painted with a little bit of flat black. Now as we come down and see that grille, you do have a forward-facing camera, which almost seems to be required, especially if you're going to be doing some major off-roading. And then this has got to be probably one of the most rugged, aggressive front bumpers in the truck industry. I like on the Rubicon how it's all cut out on the ends. You have your fog lamps, massive tow hooks off the front, bright red, all that ground clearance. This thing can go through about 30 inches of water. And that's the thing I think a lot of people are forgetting, is when you look at the Gladiator, especially the Rubicon, this is probably one of the most off-road capable vehicles still being produced. Let's go ahead and pop up on the hood. When we pop up on the hood, I love this power bulge in the center. If you've ever wondered, well, why are these two flat black pieces here on the hood? That's because you could actually fold the windshield down. Can you do that on your Tacoma? I don't think so, unless you kick the windshield out. You could fold the windshield down and it's gonna rest there. I do like the look of the vents on the hood. It's just, it's a shame because they're not functional. So we are gonna zonk them for not being functional, but boy, do they help make the Rubicon look ultra aggressive. Speaking of Rubicon, that iconic name on the side of the hood, so well done. And I think that it's great how, you know, you still have these external hold downs for the hood and everything. Everything is Jeep, that personality that's gonna be so different from anything else. As we come down, you're gonna get these wonderful 17-inch wheels. I love the flat black, the machined aluminum all the way around, and even the little, there it is, the GI's best friend from World War II, that little Easter egg logo from Jeep right there. Very, very nice look. So you're looking at, these are 33-inch tires, 285 on the width, 70 series on the sidewall. And then if you look, I'm gonna have Tom kind of zoom in, this comes with your Fox racing suspension, that off-road racing suspension. Fox, a name synonymous with victories in the Baja 500, Baja 1000. Those dampeners have been specially tuned for the off-road duty, specifically of the Gladiator Rubicon. We continue down the side, we have some more fake venting. We're gonna have to zonk that. It looks good, it just, I wish that it actually did something. Jeep logo with the outlining of the red really makes it pop, and then the Gladiator is a decal. I wish they didn't do a Gladiator decal. I wish something was a little bit more popish rather than just a sticker. You have your standard antenna. Trucks seem to still be running these, but you know what? On the Jeep, it fits. Even the way that it mounts. You go back years and years and years, same mounting. External hinges on the doors. You have the flat black on the mirrors. I guess me personally, Rubicon, I feel like these should be painted black, but remember, with any Jeep, these doors come off. You fold the windshield down, all 4 doors come right off. This one has your removable painted hardtop, which is a very nice touch, makes it look really, really cohesive. And then from the factory, you're gonna get that frame protection. As you are crawling over rocks, you will be able to help protect your Gladiator, and that comes straight from the factory. And a lot of other trucks, you have to add that, and that's gonna cost extra money aftermarket-wise. But very, very unique design, specific to the Jeep family, fits it to the T. And then we get back to the rear fenders. I'm gonna have Tom show off that rear suspension. Once again, Jeep and Fox working together to develop the perfect off-road suspension. Remember, you're gonna have locking differentials. And I don't know if you were listening at the beginning of the video, this thing can go through 30 inches of water. That's pretty substantial. We come to the back, you know, it's a Jeep thing. You might look at this and say, wow, they kind of just stuck on those taillights, but that's something unique. And the way that the design is to mimic the old gas cans from those World War II Jeeps. Love the look. The Jeep logo in the center. Here's where they mount your rearward facing camera. You have the same bright red tow hooks as on the front as on the rear. Very nice flat black, full tow capability. You can see how much ground clearance we have from the back of this Jeep. And if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and open her up. Nice slow release, drops down. I'm gonna issue a zonk here. I would like to see a power source. You do get rear LED bed lighting, which is great. We have that sliding rear window, but where's a power source? And I would like to see a bed liner from the factory. This is a Rubicon trim. Plus, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 locations for tie downs. I think we need a little bit more. And yes, of course you could add those, but when we talk about the price, which you'll hear in a few seconds, you'll probably be saying the same thing. But why don't we go ahead, pop that hood and see what's powering this 2020 Gladiator Rubicon. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this Jeep Gladiator. Of course, being a Jeep, it's gonna have a prop rod. I'm going to zonk that, but you know what? I know the Jeep faithful will say that's not a big deal. What you're looking at underneath the hood is that Pentastar V6. So that's a 3.6 liter V6, 285 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, 0 to 60 in about 8.3 seconds, quarter mile in 16.4. If you're wondering about MPGs, 17 in the city, 22 in the highway. This thing weighs in at 5,258 pounds. It can tow up to 7,650 pounds, and you could put in the bed of that truck a payload around 1,600 pounds. So what can I say? This isn't a vehicle that you're gonna go do any drag racing with, but I think it has all the required necessities to have you go down some of the most ripped up of terrain and keep you from getting stuck while those other brands are getting stuck, and you're probably gonna have to use these tow hooks possibly to help pull them out. But why don't we go ahead, fire this Pentastar V6 up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the Jeep Rubicon, that Gladiator Rubicon. I know you're probably wondering, man, this thing looks pretty off-road rugged. What am I saying pretty? It is off-road rugged, and maybe it's not the prettiest of trucks, but it'll definitely get you where you need to go. What's the MSRP on it? You're looking around $60,000, and that's the big question. Has Jeep priced themselves out of the midsize truck segment when you look at other trucks like the Tacoma TRD, the Chevrolet Colorado ZR2. You could probably even look at the Silverado Trail Boss, the Tundra TRD Pro, and then even a base Raptor. There are ways to get base Raptors where you're right around $60,000, but let's go ahead and see what we get for the money in this Gladiator. Now, you're gonna see quality of materials. The bar has been raised greatly. I do like the nice soft material on the top of the door panel, the armrest, the red contrast stitching, and I really am digging that. It's not metal, but it looks like brushed aluminum, like a belt buckle shape handle to open up the door. You got your cargo net down there to really show the off-road intention. And remember, those doors come right off. Material's actually not too bad on the top of the dash. The red stitching, I even like this almost like flat red that they bring into the front portion of the dash. The nice brushed aluminum trim around the AC vents. And then this thing is really something you would have never thought you'd find in any Jeep Wrangler or a Gladiator. 8.8-inch infotainment system with navigation. I could get into my AC controls. You could also go into heated seat, heated steering wheel, which is wonderful. Here's your AC controls. I love the color. I love the font. Very, very crisp. Even the camouflage like terrain design. It's just the little touches. You have your start-stop button located conveniently right there. Radio controls integrated with your AC, which is a very, very nice touch. You drop down, and then this is where you're gonna go crazy with connectivity. You open up media, you got USB-C, USB, and aux jack. I like the way that they have a cover. Here are your window controls. If you ever wonder why are they here, because remember the doors come off and that's just one less connection you gotta disconnect. We have a 12 volt, and then you have all your controls down here for extra auxiliary switches. You could put extra lighting, a winch, all sorts of different things, all based right for off-roading. And then this really is the biggest piece of the off-road puzzle. This is where you go into your four-wheel drive. Remember, you have both front and rear locking differentials. 8-speed automatic is going to be controlled here, and right on top of the shifter, it actually has an image of the Gladiator, which is kind of cool. The nice leather with the red stitching, your 2 cup holders. Here is your key fob, kind of a nice looking key fob, unique to Jeep. You got the buttons on the back, your automatic start and all that kind of stuff, very nicely done. Good old-fashioned e-brake with the leather and the red stitching, and then the armrest is as soft as a baby's butt with the red stitching. You open it up, you got a tray in here for your off-road breath mints. You open it up, you got another USB in there, and then guess what? For those longer rides that you're going down those very, very deep trails and mudded areas, you could put a whole box of Twinkies in there to last you the whole time. You close it up, and then the seats, Rubicon embroidery on the back. You have the nice leather. They are heated. They're not ventilated though, and they are manual controls. You even have in this Jeep Gladiator Rubicon an auto dimming mirror, which is a nice touch. And then remember these panels, you're just gonna pull these and all these roof panels are gonna come right off. 1, 2, 3. Why don't you come on over though to the business end and I'll show you where we're gonna be doing some off-roading from. All right guys, business time on the Gladiator Rubicon. You can see the manual controls. You do have one of those annoying wheels where you got to turn. It's like you're turning the hands at time. But I'm telling you, the lower lumbar is worth it. I just felt that, and my lower back is saying, thank you for turning that. Steering wheel, I love the design. I love the leather with the red stitching, the nice silver trim. Buttons are all flat black, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints. And then look at this dash. They hit the nail on the head. You got that classic look with your analog tach, analog speedometer. There it's telling you what's going on four-wheel drive wise. And then in the center there, you have a plethora of information that you could go through. Things that you would have never thought would be capable on a Jeep of any kind are on this Rubicon, this Gladiator Rubicon, even your tire pressure, everything else. But I really like the way you could see your off-road terrain and how the percentages are being broken up. But why don't we check out the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna be loving doing some rock crawling. All right guys, backseat time in the Rubicon. There's some touches back here, this Gladiator Rubicon, that you're not gonna find any other pickup trucks. Look on the back of the seats, how you have this molly here where you could put all sorts of things on the backs of the seats, including a cargo net down here, which I normally don't love, but it works on any Jeep, especially this Gladiator Rubicon. Your window controls are in the center console because remember the doors come off. Very simple, easy to use AC vents. And then you know what? Who says you can't have your power connectivity? You got a home power source. And if you flip this up, another USB-C, actually two USB-Cs and 2 USBs. There's so many vehicles that we've been in that don't have that connectivity, even more expensive than this price point. 2 cup holders, and then one thing you'll notice is the speakers are actually mounted in your roll bars here. That's because, same thing, doors come off, you still want to jam out as you're going down the road or off-road. You could even see how it curves around. This is all going to be coming off, remember, we'll take that off. And then the rear glass window, it's a manual, but it works really great. You got a nice finger control there. And then, of course, you got to have an armrest. As you are going off the side of a cliff, you can put your arm nicely there. Hopefully you're not going off the side of a cliff. If you are, hopefully you're planted with the 4-wheel drive. 2 cup holders here. I'm about to go off a cliff. But we put that back. It's a little cramped. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of headroom. And I guess I could ask my driver to move the seat up. But I think, you know, based off of other midsize trucks, it kind of falls right in the line. But let's get to the best part. Let's take this Gladiator Rubicon for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2020 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. Seats are great. They're very, very supportive, but also comfy at the same time, which is really nice. I'm gonna get on the loud pedal. That 8-speed automatic drops down. You're not winning any drag races, but it's got plenty of pep. I mean, I think people that buy these are not really wanting to go top speed around town. And with the off-road tires, you could definitely feel a little bit of movement from the tread. And that's the thing, is this thing is really meant for going off-roading. That this is the extreme of the Gladiator lineup, and really just by driving on asphalt, I could tell that this thing could do probably just about anything. But let's see how she handles as we go on to this side street here. On the brakes, trying not to drive it like a Porsche or something like that. Turn it in. You know what? Very, very supportive. There's not a lot of body roll, which is nice, and it's smooth. But it's fun. It's you know, when you're driving, it's just part of this personality. You're part of this club, and some people get it and some people don't. For the money, like I said, I'm probably gonna go Raptor, base Raptor. I may even go Tacoma TRD Pro. You know, if we're talking about reliability, if we're talking about you know, resale value or anything like that, that is something that is I think something that you might want to take into consideration, you know, because at the end of the day, this may not be your forever truck, and something to think about. I know a lot of you, and please put it in the comments if you feel that FCA is just not making a very reliable product. You've had experience with it, let us know. I feel like sometimes people post, like, I've had a Jeep for 20 years and never had a problem. Whereas other people will say, hey, I had a Jeep for 20 hours and the engine blew. So please, if you have any ownership experience, put that in the comment section. It's great to see that kind of stuff, because I think as the Radies Rides family looks that information over, we want to hear what others have had experience-wise, rather than reading it at a Car and Driver or Motor Trend magazine or whatnot. But visibility is actually great out the front. You can see that hood with the fake vents, which I'm still gonna zonk. Interior-wise, there's not much I'm gonna zonk. I would like to have power seats, but I know that this being you know, an off-road vehicle, and you're probably gonna have the doors off, that's probably not gonna be too good for the motors in those power seats. But at least you have heated seats, and with a little work you can get the seat to fit your body. Out the back window, you know, you do have obviously a lot of material around that sliding glass window, which kind of inhibits or blocks your vision out the back, but it's really nothing too obtrusive. And the mirrors, I think, are a perfect size. They're kind of like Goldilocks mirrors. Not too big, not too small, just right. So this is exactly what Goldilocks would be probably driving. And maybe with the 3 bears in the back, you got all that room in the bed, mid-size truck. Steering has a nice feel to it. There's not a bunch of play, which is nice to see. And you're getting so much connectivity. But then we come back to that one sore spot, $60,000. That's a lot of money in my book, and you may need more truck for that kind of money. I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead. Hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel. Just like my other Rubicon, my other Gladiator reviews, everything is exactly where you would expect to find it, within arm's reach. And even with Big Guns McGee in here, it's not very tight. It's a lot of shoulder room, obviously a lot of headroom. But we're gonna go ahead, wrap this back up, and I'll see you at Fitzgerald in a split second. All right, guys, been another wonderful day here at Fitzgerald Jeep. I definitely gotta thank Daniel and the rest of the crew for getting us access, not to just any Gladiator, but a fully loaded Gladiator Rubicon. Should you be spending your money on this truck? Are there better trucks? I don't know. It's really got me scratching my head. I think personally I would do my homework and try to find a base Ford Raptor somewhere, because performance-wise, that's really more up my alley. Plus, you're getting a full-size truck rather than a mid-size truck. But I think for somebody who loves Jeeps, who needs that pickup capability, and you need to get through some sticky situations when Mother Nature isn't being very pleasant, I think this Gladiator Rubicon definitely could do the business. But if it's trucks like these you want to keep seeing on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself a nice Zonk shirt. This is the all-new Zonk shirt, and we definitely appreciate your support. Speaking of support, Big Guns McGee supporting the camera. He's loving this Rubicon. He wishes we could go through about 5 feet of water and see what would happen. So Tom will get to that in a second. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.